What's up, Matt Wolf here. We actually had the pleasure of recently chatting with Mr. Paul Clifford, the founder of Designer, and we kind of picked his brain on all the different ways that you can repurpose content and get the most out of your content and just drive a ton of traffic using content. And we got a really, really cool response out of him. And in this little clip, you're also going to get some insights into a little project we're working on. We haven't actually publicly divulged this project yet, but you'll get a little sneak peek of something we're actually working on at the end of the clip. Kind of sounds like we're goofing around a little bit, which we are, but we do give a little bit of a sneak hint at one of the projects we're working on. So check out this podcast with Paul Clifford. I believe it's coming out on September 11th, if my memory serves me well. This podcast episode will be coming out beginning to mid-September with Paul, where we really dive into a ton of repurposing strategies to essentially spread your content everywhere, as well as talking about how to automate all of those processes of spreading that content everywhere. Here's a little sneak peek, a little tip, and again, a little bit of a sneaky soundbite of what we're working on a sort of ongoing project that'll be released later this year. All right, enjoy.
People consume content in different ways. Okay. Some people will just watch videos, and if you're not putting a video in front of them, they're switched off. Some people don't like videos. Some people are in a corporate environment, or they can't have the speaker on or whatever, and they much rather read, they much rather read a blog post. Like your podcast, as amazing as it is, a lot of people won't necessarily watch it, right, because they're more interested in reading, scanning, looking for the text, drilling out and pulling out those nuggets. And so, to boost an easy boost to your reach and to your audience and to your engagement is to ensure that you're covering all those angles. Okay, so you're covering your video and your readers and your listeners all in the same piece of content. Okay, so so you pull out your best content and whatever form that is. So we talked about blog posts into PDFs, whatever. Let's talk about videos and audios. For example, you turn that into a blog post, turn that into an ebook. Okay. Look at, Tim Ferriss, his big book, remember Tools of Titans, I think it was called, right? Yep. It's like this. Yeah.
Here goes Matt. Here we go.
Yeah, right.
It's on video.
I'm showing it on video if you're listening in.
I always call that any of Tim's books, like the last three I'm looking at, they're all like weapons. So like if you ever need to put yourself in a dark alley in Encinitas, then you whack someone in the head. It's all good.
Thankfully, you don't need to take it to Encinitas for protection.
You can do it anywhere. Chicago.
But, look at Tools of Titans, right? Where did the content come from that book?
Podcasts.
All
his podcasts, right?
What do you say that? We're actually going to do that for our own podcast, but just for traffic. But we will be using Designer for that.
Yeah, we've been actually talking. I like your little subtle pitches in there.
But it's true.
We've been talking. We've actually been talking about putting out a book called like Traffic Secrets Revealed, which might already be taken. Whatever. Volume 1. And just like taking all of the traffic tips from our podcast and just making a giant like encyclopedia of traffic strategies.
Yeah.
Exactly what you're saying.
What's up, guys? I hope you enjoyed that quick tip video you just watched. You want more videos like that and cool stuff from me and this weirdo over here? Go to theweeklyprofit.com. It's a weekly newsletter. We only send it out once a week, and we give you updates on what's on the blog and the new podcast episodes, and we send out more quick tips like that. Yeah. So if you like this kind of stuff, theweeklyprofit.com will send you some cool stuff. He'll send you some stuff, too.
I've seen cooler stuff.
No, my stuff's cooler. Anyway, theweeklyprofit.com. Go check that out. See ya.